I'm your host, Spice Australian Printicon Paul.
I'm your host, Space Australian Decepticon Dig.
Decepticon Dag.
Yeah, mates.
Yeah, mate. Okay, so this episode's I'm just
It's
kidding.
called Spice Aftermath.
Spice Aftermath?
Spice.
The aftermath is in spice.
Yeah, actually, the aftermath is on the planet. The explosions from spice.
So, the aftermath of the spice aftermath leads to an aftermath on the planet.
It's, cause and effects, mates.
It's like the butterfly effect.
Cause and effects.
Cause and effect.
Welcome back to Beast Wars Wednesday. Waspinator falls into the stasis tank.
CR tank.
Yeah, sorry. Waspinator falls in the
Man. The shit I have to deal with. Take 4. Action.
Waspinator falls into the CR tank.
Ah, I want to feel it, Doug. Waspinator falls!
Here we go.
Hey, beautiful. Good. We're just filming right now. That's okay. How are you? Yeah? Well, thanks for the chat. Alrighty. Hold on. Oh, he thinks it sucks. He hates the cups. Yeah. I am too. I'm offended for you.
I'm offended for you too.
He's a team player. You know, we'll talk about this when I'm not being recorded.
Bedroom plans.
And having Inferno on your side is much better than having a not Inferno.
It's true.
It's just science.
Yeah.
It's frickin' science.
One Inferno is better than no Infernos. That's math, actually. This does sort of continue that serialized storytelling.
Mm-hmm. So, when you say serialized storytelling, Mr. Doug, are you referring to Captain Crunch or more of a Count Chocula?
I'm gonna be pretty frank with you here, mate. I've never had Count Chocula.
Neither do I.
I feel like for that much sugar,
Fruit
it's gotta be
Loops.
Fruit Loops. Oh,
Arguably one of the best breakfast cereals in the world, I think.
Fruit Loops.
I grew up with Shreddies and Raisin Bran and cornflakes, like the.
Okay.
For some reason, always the plain Jane, regular old,
well, the
regular
idea.
cereals, and every once in a while I'd have Captain Crunch, but it would never be at my house. Every once in a while I'd have Fruit Loops. Once again, only sometimes would I ever get it at my house, and like maybe Sugar Crisps. It was always like a special treat when you had the Fruit Loops.
Yeah. It was kind of the same in my house as well, where it was like the most adventurous we got was like the Honey Nut Cheerios, right?
Oh yeah.
Cheerios. I think my mom's mind was like, okay, all these other ones they're basically just sugar in a bowl. Though it turns out cornflakes is also just sugar in a bowl. It just doesn't taste as good as Frosted Flakes, but it's basically it's just the same
corn
thing.
syrup.
Yeah.
It all turns to sugar and carbs in your body.
Yeah.
Which I mean, still pretty good. I mean, I still put sugar on that. Like cornflakes with sugar on top, so good. Back in the day, I wouldn't eat it now. Jamie and our go-to is always either Raisin Bran or Shreddies.
Oh, good whole wheat Shreddies.
And they're fantastic.
I never used to like them as a kid, but I think that was because I ate so slowly. I was just eating mush, because the Shreddies would turn to mush in the milk.
Once you get to the bottom,
yeah, it's like,
it's over.
But now that I actually eat cereal at a reasonable pace, I quite like Shreddies.
I quite like it.
Quite like it. But I do also feel like we got a little off track. So the characters that are not turned into transmetal are people who are either in repair chambers or people who came from stasis pods. So I think that any characters that were on the planet and transformed in stasis pods were not affected by it. And I think there must have been something within the transformation process in the stasis pods that shielded them from the quantum surge and prevented them from mutating. Where Megatron, Cheetor, and Rattrap, they were all given their beast forms in the bases. That's the only theory I can really come up with. So
we're introduced to Silverbolt, dun, 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 and then Quick Strike.
Yeah. And Goose got nothing to do with it. And
Okay. So they start fighting,
well, Rhinox is off in Never Never Land.
which is a real place. I've been there.
Yeah, it's just second star to the right, and you straight on to morning, right?
You bet.
Okay, yeah, been there too. It's pretty good this time of year. Great.
Yeah.
Gulp.
Keep going.
Hydration is key, everybody.
It's hot in here.
So take off all your clothes. And Rhinobot. I was about to call him Rhinobot. The rat jumping down a bot. Rhinobot.
So Megatron then decides that he's a person and his name's Anakin. Okay? So you better call him a person, not a slave. And that's a good principle lesson, I think, that we can get out of this episode.
It was, it really opened my eyes, and I'm starting to think I should free my slaves.
Probably should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before... Anyways, I'm done. I could have kept going, but I'm going to leave it there.
Let's leave it right there.
Who knows? Maybe they're in prehistoric Mexico.
Could be.
And if so... I got nothing.
Great.
And it's not like that shoulder cannon would have done anything.
But anyway.
It wouldn't have done anything.
It's his warning shots. Yeah, little...
Like pew pew. I mean, he hit, what's his name, Silverbolt at like point blank range, and he was like, "Oh, that was really inconvenient.
I'm really sorry.
I had to like stand up from like a sitting position." Optimus is pound for pound bigger, tougher, stronger, heavier, just all around tougher
And now shinier too.
and stronger and heavier and bigger.
And harder, better, faster, and stronger.
He's his Venus. He's his fire. Your desire.
Silverbolt swoops in.
Seriously, what would those shoulder cannons have done to him? He'd have been like, "Oh, that was inconvenient."
Probably not much.
Exactly. That's all I was saying. I was like, come on, man. What happens next, Doug? Even Megatron was talking about working together and holding hands.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see you holding anyone's hand, Optimus. You were pretty fast on that gun to take Inferno out. What about a little megaphone, like what it looks like, and go like, "I would like to negotiate strenuously."
The character choices with the voice actor,
Colin Murdoch.
Colin Murdoch. You actually met him.
He was one of my voice acting teachers.
Yeah.
Taught me accents.
Taught him accents.
So, yeah.
He makes excellent choices with his character, and he also expands on those like great choices later on in the series as well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the way he laughs and sugar bot and all that stuff.
And the thing is, when I met Colin Murdoch, I would have never guessed that he voiced Quick Strike.
Really?
Because it was basically he had to tell me when I mentioned that I really like Beast Wars. He's like, "Oh yeah, I did Quick Strike." I'm like, "What?"
Wait,
Yeah.
you did what?
And he's like, I like the character. Yeah, I gave him a bit of a tough guy voice. And I was like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
You know, it's interesting because like whereas you would never have known he was Quickstrike.
Mm-hmm.
When I met Gary Chalk, it's a small acting world here in Vancouver. We're both actors. And in the audition room, I've had the pleasure of actually meeting Gary. And we actually met him at the
reboot anniversary.
The 25th anniversary or
20th.
something? 20th anniversary of Reboot. We were actually at the event. And I didn't even realize this, but at the time, Gary and I were in the same episode of a TV show called Blackstone, wherein I played an inmate who's like the illegitimate son of the person who Gary's character represents, because Gary's character is a lawyer. So, like, I didn't even know that he was that character until, like, after, and I wish I would have known because I would have had more to talk to him about, except for, like, "Oh, I really love your work in Reboot and and in Beast Wars." That was a bit of a tirade. But the thing I love about Gary is that you can tell the minute he opens his mouth, you're like, "Oh, you're Optimus Primal."
Yeah.
He doesn't have to put on a voice. Not that, like, there's anything wrong with that at all. That's not what I'm getting at. But the fact is, he's got such a unique voice in that just his voice that's his own.
Mm-hmm.
What am I trying to say, Doug? Doug, help me out here.
That just that his voice does the job of Optimus Primal perfectly as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a unique voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So basically, we've met famous people and we love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you jealous?
Are you jelly like a bag of jelly beans?
Jelly bellies. Way better than jelly beans. Good writing. Good job. Writer.
Mr. Writer Pants, who may or may not be a man, could also be a woman,
It might be.
could also be a dog, for all we know.
There are some talented dogs out
They
there.
are very talented.
There's this bulldog who can ride a skateboard.
Yeah.
I mean, next thing you know, he's going to be building rocket ships and, oh my God, Skynet, a cyber dog. That's how it starts. We look at them like they're man's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, why do you always throw the ball and get me to bring it back to you? You think I'm some kind of slave? And then, once they're sick of chasing down that stick and that ball, it's like, okay, clearly you want it. I'm going to get it. And you throw it away again. Skynet is born from dogs that are that have become so frustrated with their humans that they're just like, you know what? It's time to kill all humans. Be my own best friend. What's this episode called?
Tarantulas.
He's the purple one, right?
Yeah, Tarantula. He's the spider.
Oh, the
purple.
spider.
Yeah.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
The spider car. Motorcycle thing.
Spider cycle.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man's motorcycle.
Yeah. Why did Spider-Man need a motorcycle?
He didn't.
Oh, because they need to sell toys, right?
Basically.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Spider-Mobile.
Give your fucking head a shake. Who do you think would win in a fight? V'ger or the probe from the Voyage Home?
Probably V'ger.
Yeah, I gotta give that one to V'ger.
Wait, but what about V'ger versus Unicron?
It's Unicron.
Yeah.
Unicron's omni-universal, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He's the Galactus of Transformers.
True. And the only thing that can stop him is the Matrix of Leadership.
Or a Kamehameha.
Yeah, or One Punch Man.
Yeah, just...
One Punch!
Cave Baldy. So
now we covered about the first 10 seconds. The Waspinator just gets away with a lot more because he's like for the comedy because he's Waspinator.
Yeah.
We love how I love how like even Jamie, who's like only like kind of invested in the show, still like every episode's like, oh, poor Waspinator.
He just... I don't think he even thinks he's a bad guy. He's the Zangief from the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah,
the all-American hero.
We are going to go and free them on behalf of America.
Bring your baguette and your fromage.
I meant your hamburger.
Hamburger. So, what was I saying? I think Dinobots. I think his conflict has less to do with.
Please continue. I'm
That's
sorry.
Those are
Trump's.
Trump's.
Yeah, the Trumpisms.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually kind of a question I have on the choice of the writing team. When you see the pattern that that Megatron is setting up all those relays in Predacon territory, it matches the pattern that you see, which looks like one of those like sparklers on the golden disc. There doesn't seem to be any reason for them to use that pattern other than the fact that it looks kind of cool. Now, if you are familiar with astronomy or with Voyager 1 or the Voyager 2 probes, that pattern is actually, the dot in the center is the Earth. And each one of those lines that you see coming off the dot is a pulsar that exists in our galaxy around the Earth. And it's a map on how to get to the Earth. So any sort of spacefaring alien civilization, if they ever come across the Voyager space probe, they'll be able to decipher that map and find a road to find Earth. Now, how that map works is each one of those lines has etched in it a pattern that's in binary code, and that pattern indicates the number of times per minute or per second, I can't remember which one exactly, that pulsar pulses. Because pulsars are some of the most consistent objects in the universe, it's conceivable that for the next few billion years, they'll still pulse at the same rate, and they'll still pulse at the same rate in relation to each other and where they are in the galaxy. So any spacefaring civilization will find that, be able to go, oh, that's a numerical code, and it reads that that pulsar can only be this one, which means this pulsar can only be this one, which means this dot here is the Earth, or is where this thing is, this object is from. So that's what that is. Why Megatron sets up those relays around Predacon territory in that pattern is beyond me. And if you have any ideas as to why, please enlighten me. It doesn't make any sense for it to be used other than the fact that it looks cool.
Because obviously the Predacons found Earth. Perhaps theoretically, like, they would use that to find the Earth if, like, maybe the Transformers decided to stay away from Earth and wipe out where it is in the galaxy from where they are. But there's, I mean, again, that's all speculation. But that has nothing to do with the Predacon installations. If I had to guess, it probably comes from the writing team not really knowing what that symbol was supposed to mean. And, you know, if I had to throw a guess out there. But hey, if you have any other opinions, feel free to chime in.
Yeah. Now, if anybody is a Predacon by nature, it's Quickstrike. He didn't need to change his activation code. He didn't need to do anything different.
There's no, like, reprogramming by tarantulas.
Yeah, he's a Predacon by nature, and that's just who he is. But how funny is it that he will not shoot Rat Trap in the back, but Rat Trap will shoot him while he's hanging off the edge of a cliff. And he's like, that darn rat shooting me when I'm down. Like, legit, he shot him while he was down. You don't get much more down than hanging on the edge of a cliff, and Rat Trap's like, see ya.
You know what they say? You fight with a rat, you better fight dirty.
Have you noticed how everyone treats Waspinator with such casual disregard now?
It's really come to that point, yeah.
Yeah, Megatron doesn't care.
Yeah, he never comes home, and Megatron doesn't ask any questions. He's like, we'll find him.
He's too busy talking to Dinobot, and all the Predacons are there. Not once does he go, where's Waspinator?
I think he just assumes when Waspinator goes out to the field that he's not coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, he'll find his way back. And that's even like highlighted in how the Maximals treat him. Because he does the thing, he's like, the cartoon thing, and then like his head spins and he falls. Over his body, they're having a discussion about how we're going to deal with the next situation. There's Waspinator just laying there. They don't even address the fact that he's there. He's already out of the picture. That's one thing that that I would like to have. Like as like an obscure toy. A stasis pod.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think there's any of those. They've never made a stasis pod toy.
They should.
That'd be pretty, yeah.
My buddy has a 3D printer.
Oh.
I'll get him to 3D print one, and then we'll set it up, and we'll just set it like here or something.
That'd be cool.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Cool. Poor Cheetor. He hates it when his friends get... Sorry, let me try that again. Oh, poor Cheetor. He hates it when his friends get shot out into space. I hate that too, actually.
There's certain friends I wouldn't mind getting shot into space.
You know what? I got a couple as well. Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, it's going to be one heck of an adventure.
Mm-hmm. And actually, you know, if someone gives me like spoilers for a movie that I want to watch, shot in space. I wish I had a shot in the space button.
Oh man, I had the ending for Infinity War spoiled for me.
What?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Instagram. Like literally the day after the movie.
That's brutal. You should have shot it in space.
Oh man, that person got so much hate.
Is that right, eh?
Oh. Death threats and shit. Like they filmed the Spider-Man.
No.
And then they posted it. Had no spoiler warning or nothing.
I'd break his neck.
Yeah, he's not having any of it. He's like... Sorry. That's all good.
Who dares disturb Waspinator? Oh, Allie, I told you I was shooting.
God.
Oh, she's going to bed.
Aw. Good night, Ellie.
Slept well.
Some might argue that when the evil Megatron attacks, this monkey bot don't cut him no slack. I heard that somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Teenage Mutant Gorilla Maximals?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Either way, he's not cutting him any slack. I gotta go pull the wings out.
Okay. Woo! We're getting there, guys. Folks, we're getting there.